How's it going everyone? John Conlon here, and in this video we're having a look at the Ashdown MF484. This is a brand new 30 watt all valve amplifier that does everything from cleans with tons of headroom all the way to tons of gain and high saturation. When you first see it, it may initially look like a traditional amplifier, but there are a ton of features on this amp that make it really well suited to guitar players in this modern day and age that want to use some of the modern digital functionality that amplifiers can do now as well. So let's have a look at it top to bottom and go through some specs. Starting at the front end of the amplifier, you'll see there are two instrument inputs. Going into the UK input, your guitar will have more of a compressed and tighter classic British sounding tone, whereas going into the US input, this will allow for greater headroom on cleaner sounds, but it has tons of gain in it as well. And below that, you'll see there's a send and return for the included effects loop as well. Next to this, you'll see we have a boost control. Now, this can be dialed in to essentially add more aggression and distortion to that which already exists in the amplifier. Then there's the gain dial, and this can go all the way dialed back to nice and clean, all the way to really thick and distorted and saturated if you want it. And next to that, we then get onto the EQ section, where I've got bass, middle, treble, and presence. And these can be used to really dial in, hone, and shape the EQ of your sound as well. Next to the EQ section, we then get to the volume dial, and this, along with the gain control, can give you plenty of control over the amp's overall output volume. And next to this, you'll see that we have a little clip light as well as an output level control. And this is to control the output level of the two notes Dyne IR DI, and we'll get around to this in a second, because next to this, you'll then see that we have 6 presets. And this refers to the 6 onboard official Ashdown and two notes Dyne IR impulse responses. And this means that you can have not only an amplifier going out of a cab, but also an amplifier that has a DI signal into a mixing desk or console, for example, with no compromise on sound. Following on from this, around the back of the amplifier, you'll see we have a torpedo out, and this is a balanced XLR DI output derived from the Dyne IR two notes output. Above the torpedo out, you'll see that there's a program and a charge USB out, and this allows you via USB to customize the two notes impulse responses or load them in to the amplifier, as well as a handy option to keep any USB device charged. On top of that, there's also a headphone out, which is 32 ohms, so you can practice silently if you wish as well. Next to the headphone out, you'll see that there's a foot switch input, and this will allow you to turn the boost on or off via a foot switch. We then have two speaker outputs at 8 and 16 ohm impedances. And at the far right, round the back of the amplifier, you'll see that we have the torpedo line in and DI link. And this is an option that enables you to have the possibility of using the MF484 as a reamping unit to run your pre-recorded lines, giving them some alternative tonal options with a number of alternative settings. And this is all available via the embedded two notes torpedo. In terms of the last couple of features here then, you'll see that we have a MIDI in and out, and this will allow you to control two notes torpedo functions via a MIDI controller if you wish. And then finally, there's also a torpedo boot button, and this will allow you to essentially reboot the software within the amp. And there's also a ground lift if you needed that option as well. So that was a quick rundown of all of the specs of this amplifier. Now I'm going to show you 6 different two notes IRs that I've loaded into the 6 presets of this amplifier, and you can see how they all sound. So you can probably hear there that this offers tons of flexibility in terms of DI options. Now let's have a listen to a few more sounds with a few pedals in the front end as well. And there we go. So that pretty much covers it for this amp demo. If you want a full list of specs, head on over to ashdownmusic.com, where you'll be able to see all the technical information in full detail. All that's left to say is I've been John Connon. Thanks for watching.